Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Arena Review. This time we're looking at all the games that I got to play in January. I hope this is working. I'm not seeing anything. I'm seeing that I'm live. There we go. Now I see it. I can hear myself. Perfect. So welcome to the stream. Hopefully everything sounds good there. Hey, Michael, nice to see you. Seems to be working. Appreciate that, Steve. Thank you for being here. Let me turn down this just to make sure that we got it. Perfect. Awesome. So yeah, here we are for another edition of the Arena Review, where I just talk about all the games that I played on Board Game Arena, and just kind of go over all of those things. Perfect. Everything seems good there. Good to see you guys here. I appreciate y'all being here. Michael, we had a game together. Steve, hoping to have some games together here in the near future. But yeah, so that is what we're going to be doing today. Before we get into it a little bit here, I'm just going to go ahead and plug this right here, our Discord server. If you are not in that Discord server yet, go ahead and come on and roll with us. There you go, George. Awesome. That is our Discord server there. I'll go ahead and put the link in the description as well. Here whenever I get a moment to do that. But yeah, we're having some fun in there. We are going to be planning on some monthly game nights here on Board Game Arena. So with that being said, after this stream is done, I'm going to post a couple dates on there, and if you guys will just vote on it, and then we can make that the official game night for this month. So that is the Discord server. Like I said, I'll post that in the chat here when I get a moment. So let's go ahead and move over here to our other view, and we will start talking about what we have played or what we've played this month. I've got a couple games going right now and I'm getting notifications on them. So before we get started here, this is Board Game Arena. Board Game Arena is just a digital platform where you can play board games and all sorts of stuff like that, where I've been playing a ton of games. And if you want to play with me, go ahead and add me. That is my username there in the chat. I would love to play a game with you at any point. So on here, there are tons of games, games that are being released frequently, constantly, games in beta, games in alpha, playing a couple alpha games right now. So just tons of games. If there's something that you want to try that you're interested in, I highly recommend you checking it out here before actually going out and buying it or anything like that. Just that way you can see if it's something that's worth your time. So we'll go ahead and get started here. It looks like I had 19 plays. It says 17 different players, but I don't think it was 17 different players in total. It might have been, but we're going to go down and ranking them from my most played to my least played. So first one up here is Sky Team. Hey Ian, making it just in time. Ian, I caught a little bit of your stream, but as I say that, it was actually just on in the background. I was putting my daughter to bed, so it's not like I had any sound or anything, but I saw that you were streaming on there. I'll have to catch up on that one later. So Sky Team, Ian, you joined in at the perfect place. This is one that Ian and I have been playing quite a bit this past month. It says that we got 11 plays of it. And so I don't know how to look at my logbook, but I know there is a logbook. Maybe, I don't know if I have access to that or if Ian does. It's whoever's been keeping track of it, I guess. But this is a campaign game where you are a pilot and a co-pilot, and you are trying to land these planes with a whole bunch of obstacles and a whole bunch of different things happening, and you're not allowed to talk. So kind of easier to do that with digital because you can't talk. If you go to one of our games, you should be able to click on the logbook. Okay, I'll see if I can do that here in a second. So this one, actually a airport that we have not done, but there's all sorts of stuff in here. So for example, you have these airplanes that you're going to have to clear off of the runway before you land. Sometimes you have to be at a specific axis. So in this case, in order for them to clear, first they have to clear the plane, but in order for them to pass this, they have to be here on the axis, which they're at right now. So the co-pilot will roll some dice. They'll be placing them on here. They'll be trying to lower their flaps as they're going. They'll be trying to use their radio to clear those planes. They will be possibly getting some coffee, which is your dice mitigation. And then you have the pilot over here, which again will be trying to clear the planes. They will be... Ooh, what is this one? I don't remember what this is exactly what they're doing. Something, it's not the flaps. Maybe, oh, they're lowering the wheels here. They will also be controlling the brakes. So these brakes will, at the end, whenever you reach the end, your dice will need to be below whatever level you have here. Throughout the game, you'll also be doing your engine speed. So if you are below this blue one, you will not move at all. If you're in the middle, you'll move once. And then if you're after the orange here, you'll move twice. So that's progressing on this track. So there's a lot to kind of keep track of. This over here is kerosene. So you're going to be running out of fuel. So you have to manage that as well. So there's a lot going on here. You do get some asynchronous powers at some point. We've been having a good time playing it. We haven't played it in a while. I say that now, Ian, you're still here. Hopefully you can start us a new one, because I don't remember where we're at on it. But it's been fun. It's made me want to get out my physical copy. I have it up here, and just kind of play it with my wife, in person. But like I said, I really do like this implementation here digitally, just because the limited communication, it's hard to do on the computer anyway. It rolls all the dice for you. It makes it like double checks for you, like, hey, are you sure you want to do this kind of thing? So it's been really good. I've been really enjoying it. Trying to clear my games. That's right. I remember that. Yeah, as soon as you do that, start up some new ones, and we will continue to play Sky Team. It looks like we had 11 plays of that one. I think I want to say it was 2 or 3 that we did not do. And a lot of them, honestly, just because I play on my phone a lot, and I misclicked a couple things. So that's Sky Team. A lot of fun. Really liked it. Okay, up next we have Captain Flip, and this is a new one for me this month. It's one that I've kind of been avoiding just because I didn't think I would really like it. But man, this game is great. I've actually very much enjoyed Captain Flip. So let's go here. So on Captain Flip, you have this bag of tiles, right? So here on Board Game Arena, you obviously don't have the bag, but you have this bag of tiles, and you're going to reach in and you're going to pull out these tiles. And these tiles have all different sorts of things on here. Let me go to another one that's not about to end, because that one looks like it's about to end. But you have all sorts of different types of tiles that just score differently, right? There's different ways that they can score. You've got different layouts here of your maps that also just play differently. So you're going to reach in this bag, you're going to pull out a tile, and you're going to decide to either place this or flip it onto the backside. There are these gunners, which are these ones here. And the gunners give you 5 victory points at the end of the game. But if you have 3 or more of them at the end of the game, you lose. So you don't necessarily want to have 3 of them. But they are also nice to have because, like I said, they're worth 5 victory points. So some of the things on here, like the cartographer, which they take the treasure map. Once you have the treasure map, you start getting, at the end of your turn, you take income of 1 coin. If you have navigator, you take 2 coins per cartographer on your board. So if you have a couple of those, right, you get 2 points for them. These ones are 3 points if there's no gunner in either direction, right? So you're just kind of building out this I guess we can call it a tableau of tiles that are going to score for certain conditions. These ones are like a set collection kind of thing, but they have to be in different rows. And so the push your luck aspect in this one, I feel like is the perfect amount. Push your luck isn't my favorite mechanism. I do like can't stop. Obviously I like Captain Flip, but it's because the games play quick. I'm not going to be too upset if it messes me up in the end. And in this one, at least, you can control that. You don't have to push your luck as much. And if you do and you fail, then it's kind of on you. But like I said, I've really enjoyed this one. There's a whole bunch of different types of maps. I want to say I've played like 3 of them or so. So yeah, this one is really good, and I next time I go to some con or something like that, I'm definitely going to try it out, play it in person, because I can just see it being a ton of fun around the table. So that is Captain Flip. I had 7 playthroughs of that one this past month. Okay. Up next, the Guild of Merchant Explorers. So this one is a game that is new to Board Game Arena, or newer to Board Game Arena. It is in beta still, so might be some bugs here and there. So the Guild of Merchant Explorers. Hey Jeff, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. The Guild of Merchant Explorers is an interesting game. I got to play it once in person. Looks like this is a solo. Let's pick a different one. I got to play it once in person at a con. Joe, Board Games for Two, he introduced it to us. And he introduced it as a flip and fill, basically, but without actually, using any type of utensils. It has that same kind of feeling of a flip and blank, right? So, okay, well, we're just going to do one of these solo ones because it's being played in real time. But you have this deck of cards here, and your deck of cards are going to be different terrain types, right? So like this one is explore a mountain space, this one's 2 desert spaces, 2 grassland spaces, 2 of whatever kind, 3 waters. Then you have these exploration ones that are here. It's definitely got the feel of a flip and write without the writing. Yes, it does a lot. So what you do is you're going to start off in here, and then you're going to be flipping over these terrain cards, and you're going to be traveling outwards onto different parts of the map. Once you reach some different parts of this map, you may be able to leave out, I think these are villages is what they're called, or villagers or something like that. But eventually you'll be able to start off further from your original starting point in the game. There's these spaces here in the waters that are shipwrecks that give you kind of set collection bonus points. You have these towers over here. I forget what they're called, but they score victory points here depending on what era you're in. Coins are victory points. So in the first era you get 6, and the last one you get 14 for them. And then let's see, when you fill in an entire section in a single terrain, you place the new towns. So, and then those new towns let you explore from there. It's for me, it's an okay game. It's not my favorite game. It's not anything that I would really gravitate towards. It's one of those games that plays relatively quickly. You don't have to pay super close attention to what you're doing. You just kind of place some tiles down and go from there. And yeah, I don't know. It's a okay game. The BG implementation is good. I do wish there's more variability in the action cards as well. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Like I said, I think it's an okay game. It's not one that I need in my collection for sure. If somebody has it, if they want to play it, I'll play it. But I don't think I'll ever go out of my way to play this game. With that being said, there is a realm in Rolling Realms of this game. And I think that implementation is done real well because it is that flip and fill. And honestly, it was probably super easy for them to design that realm because, like I said, it's got that feeling of it anyway. So, like I said, you've got these era cards here, which I believe are different for everybody. But it just gives you like bonus spaces that you can do that aren't just your basic, these ones here. And Jeff, I agree. I think like if your deck had more of these era cards, it would make it a little bit more interesting. Yep. Yeah, I agree with you, Ian. It's really good for this one. So yeah, this game I played a total of 3 times. So that is the Guild of Merchant Explorers. All right, up next we have a staple in my monthly game reviews here, and this is Terraforming Mars. I got to play this one. I don't remember who I played it with. I played with 2 randos. So I really wanted to get this game played, and so I just started up a table and had some people join. So what was actually interesting about these playthroughs was I love playing this game at 2. I think it's perfect at 2. But as I was talking to Devin about this, he said that he absolutely loves this game at 3. I've played it at 3 a handful of times, not very often, just because I generally like playing it at 2. So after I'd finished that first playthrough of 2, I ended up starting a 3-player game and played that. Now, in Terraforming Mars, you are building out these tableaus here, semi-tableaus, right? You're playing action cards. Some of them may have some effects. But you're playing out these cards that give you resources, benefits, one-time effects, reoccurring effects, all sorts of cards in order to do 3 things: to either boost the temperature of the planet, to boost the oxygen of the planet, and then to place ocean tiles on the planet. So the game is triggered when all 3 of those criteria are met. Whole bunch of stuff that you can do in these cards. What I really enjoy about it is just the synergy that you have with playing this and that. If you have your starting cards here, if your prelude cards are, in this case, this guy gets 2 titanium to start with. He's got a Jovian tag. Here he's got some titanium to start with. And then this one he's got some titanium to start with. This person should definitely be going for just tons of space cards. Really raising up that temperature, and then, just kind of using those things to his advantage. So it really depends on what cards you get at the beginning. So anyway, going back to that 3-player game, it turns out I really enjoyed that. I really like the 3-player one because this central board is a community board that everybody gets to build on. So you can build cities, you can build greenery, which increases the oxygen. And in a 2-player game, while the board does get filled, it doesn't get filled as much, obviously, as when you have more players. I believe this plays up to 5. I might be wrong there. It might only be up to 4. And the board doesn't scale. So playing with those more players definitely fills it up a little bit more and makes it a little bit more competitive in that way. So either way, I absolutely love this game. I'll play it, solo, 2-player, 3, whatever. What I'm very excited about is they do have the new maps that they just released. Or not that they just released, but they do have maps on here when before they only had the base map. So now they have Elysium, they have Hellas, Vastitas Borealis, and Amazonas Planeta. So I've played these top 3 ones on the tabletop, not here on Board Game Arena, but I have not played these bottom ones on either mode. So I'm excited to kind of try those out and just see what they do. I know one of them has a bigger board for that higher player count. And then it also just introduces different awards and milestones and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that is Terraforming Mars. And I had 2 plays of that. Okay, the rest of these, it looks like I had... Oh, no, I still have a couple of some of these. Next one is Small World. Man, I've been playing a ton of Small World lately since this game came here on Board Game Arena, and it's just been awesome. I've absolutely loved it. This is a game that definitely plays better at the higher player counts. I would say probably 3 to 4 is the sweet spot for it. So on your turn, what you're doing is you are drafting out different races and... Oh, I forget what it is. You have 2 different things. So you have a characteristic and then your race. And whatever you choose, it depends. They act differently together. They synergize in a specific way, and every game it's going to be different, because in one game you might have these flying trolls, and the next game you might have the flying rat men, right? So it just depends on how they come out. But this game is just an area control game. That's really all it is. You're going to have all your troops, and then you're going to send out your troops into these different locations on the board. If they're on mountain spaces, it's going to be harder to conquer them. If there are opposing troops on there, it's going to be harder to conquer them. So with what you have, you're just going to be going into the areas and taking over the land. Eventually, you're going to run out of troops, and your races are going to have to be put into decline. And so once they're in decline, they get flipped over like this, and they're a lot easier to take over. Well, this one here is a better example. This one looks like it's probably got some type of special ability. Yeah, it's the spirit. That one is the spirit elves. So whenever they get in decline, they don't count towards the occupancy or whatever it is. So if you run out of troops, or if you don't have enough troops to really conquer it, you can get this die and just roll it. You might get some more troops to go in there. You might not. So I don't know. I really enjoy this one. It's been a ton of fun. Getting just doing your move, and then immediately after, like you guys saw here, it pops up on the screen. It tells you exactly how many victory points you've had. There is the question mark on everybody, so you don't know where anybody stands. You can kind of figure it out by looking at their previous scores here, and you just kind of see like, oh, I've been on the up and up, and this person's kind of been getting less and less points. So you can kind of plan on who to go after in that instance. So Small World has been great and a lot of fun. I'm going to talk to Devin and maybe we'll get Small World of Warcraft played, because he has that one, and that one is supposed to fix the 2-player experience. So yeah, I'll talk to him, and maybe we can do a live stream of that one relatively soon. So that is Small World. Okay, up next we have Takenoko. Give me a second. My daughter was just making noise in her room. I think we're okay. We'll see. If I have to pause, I might do that, but she is okay. I've mentioned it before, but for anybody that's new, that is her bedroom right there. So sometimes it gets a little bit loud, but looks like we're fine. Ian, you want to get a big game on the bigger map. I've only played at 2 or 3, so the smaller map. Yeah, definitely. I think that would be a fun one to play. Okay, so Takenoko. This is a game that I have seen forever. Hey, Pat. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Hope everything is going well with you. This is a game that when I first started getting in the hobby, I would see that box art everywhere. You've got this very cutesy panda on the cover, and all of the bamboo. Just it's really catchy, right? So you've got just this artwork that looks really, really catchy. I never really looked into it, just because at that point it wasn't something that I was super interested in, but I would always look at it. So I recently finally just played it here on Board Game Arena, and honestly, it was a game that I went into not reading the rules. I just kind of went in and said, I'll figure it out. It's easy enough. I think it's like it's under a 2 point. Let's see if we can figure out what the scale is here. Tekken what the weight is. It's at a 1.98. So I figured, I can go in and just wing this and learn it on the fly. So on your turn, you get to do, I want to say it's 2 actions. And so your actions are, you can either draw new tiles, so either a green, a water, or a yellow. I'm assuming it's water. You can build out irrigation channels. You can move the gardener. You can move the panda, or you can get new objective cards. So the game will go to, in a 2-player game, whoever's completed 9 objectives first. And so that's all you're really trying to do. So like on this one here, you are wanting the panda to eat 2 pink bamboos. So you'll want this panda to move here and then here. Now on your turn, you can't repeat your action. On this one, you want to have the gardener with a yellow bamboo that is 4 tall, and then move the gardener into that section. So like right here. There are some irrigation ones like this one here, where you want to have some irrigation in between all of those tiles. That's the one that I'm still not 100% sure on how to do, but these are the irrigation. There's a certain restriction that you have to do with it, and again, I just haven't read the rule book for it, but I just try not to get those objectives. And then this one here is just different patterns. So you have 3 colored patterns or 3 colored hexes in whatever pattern it shows. So then again, just first one to complete 9 objectives wins. And it was good. This was a decent game. It played quick. It was fun enough. And like I said, you can kind of play it how you want to. I kind of started ignoring those irrigation channels because, again, I didn't really necessarily understand them. And I just did the other ones. So that is Takenoko. There is, if you noticed when I typed it in, there is Takenoko Color. And this is a very family weight roll and write coloring game that I've actually kind of looked into to buy physically. Because like I said, it's supposed to be very, very family friendly for kids. And it actually gives you pencils, and on the pencils you roll those and it has whatever you need to fill in. So haven't played it on here, but here we go. Here's some images. So those are the pens, and they've got like the actual rollers on there for the shapes. So super cute. I think my daughter would love it. So at some point, I will probably get this physical game. Pat, other than regretting this non-Kickstarter table, it's janky Figment issue and it's stressing me out. You are having so many issues, but hey, you're learning. That's all that matters. All right, up next, we have diced veggies. I'm going to go ahead and say it. The first time that I played this game, I thought it was going to be trash. I didn't think it would be that good. I've seen this being played. I saw it at BGG Con whenever it got released, or close to when it got released. I don't remember if that was this past November or the November previous. It could have been BGG Spring last May also. But from what I saw was just these dice, and then you had this little cutting utensil, and you just see the people cut, and that was it. So in my head, this game was just a gimmick of using this knife to separate different dice into sections. Let's see if I can find a picture of it. So this little, I forget what it's called. It's not an axe. It's something with a C. Can't think of it. But yeah, so you're just using it to cut those dice. Cleaver, that's the word. Thanks, Ian. So in the game, though, as I started playing it, I realized there's actually a little bit more strategy in this than what meets the eye. So whenever you are using the cleaver to cut these die, you can only cut die that are on the outside. So like you could take these two here. You could take this one here. You could take these three here, but you wouldn't be able to take this one because it's on the inside of these other ones. And whenever you're taking these die, it also has to be less than or equal to 10. The pip value has to be less than or equal to 10. So you could take these two, that is equal to 10. I could take these three because that's equal to 10, but I would only be able to take this one. I wouldn't be able to take both of them because that would be 12. So really kind of looking at it and deciding which dice you're going to take and trying to figure out which dice your opponent is going to take really kind of makes that kind of head-to-head duel aspect in a way, at least when you're playing with two players. And then you also have these recipe cards, and these recipe cards are what you're trying to fulfill. And I believe the game goes to, well, this person just ended it, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the game will go to whoever completes 6 of these recipes first, triggers the end game. On top of that, you have these gold cards here, and these are your hype cards. I wish we could see somebody's hype card. We can't. But these hype cards just give you extra bonus points for doing something. So, for example, let's say this beef... Of course, I picked that. Let's say this shepherd's pie, which needs a carrot and 2 mushrooms. Your hype card could say all of your dice need to be even numbers. Or it could say... all of your dice have to equal this, it's just something like that, or discard an additional recipe in order to get 3 more victory points. So you have this chef token here, and what the chef token allows you to do is to change the pip value of your dice so that if you need like all even ones, you could do that. Or it allows you to change the ingredient type, so it can go from being a red to a green or something like that. And so on my first playthrough, I kind of ignored those hype cards a little bit more than what I probably should have. But turns out that they're a pretty strategic part to the game. Hey, Steve, thanks for being here. Hey, I saw you guys were streaming Marvel United today. Was that today? And was it against Doom? I think it was. So yeah, that is Dice Veggies. Like I said, I went into this one not really expecting much from it, but it's one that I actually really enjoyed. And now, knowing that, I feel like I want to use that cleaver and actually cut these dice. Steve, yes, we always stream on Mondays. We played Doom vs. Doom. I see. That makes sense. I saw your post said, like, we know one thing, Doom is going to win. And I was just like, oh, man, you're setting yourself up for failure. But knowing that Doom versus Doom, that makes sense. That makes sense now. Yes, Ian. So once you use this chef token, it flips over. But there is a reset at some point during the rounds where it flips back over for you, if there's a single ingredient that isn't available. There you go. Makes sense. So that's Dice Veggies. Up next, I got Teotihuacan, City of Gods. I got to play this one last month on Board Game Arena. And then Devin and I played it on the table, I believe this month. And after I played it on the table with Devin, I actually remembered how to play it. And I wanted to play it again here on Board Game Arena. So we actually just put out a video for this one on our channel. So if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and watch that. But this is a beefy giant game. We have Devin has the Master Deluxe set. And the physical version literally took up almost every inch of his, 6x3 gaming table, or however big it is, a normal gaming size table. It took up so much of that we couldn't even use our special player boards, but that's besides the point. So I got to play this digitally, I think last month, and I got absolutely destroyed. Then I got to play it on the table with Devin, kind of remembered the mechanics, kind of remembered some of the strategy, and then I came back on Board Game Arena and played it again and did much better. I am very consistent in this game, except for that one on Board Game Arena. All of my scores, I've played this 3 or 4 times. All of them are about 134 to 136. I always fall in that score range. So what you do is you have these dice, and let's see, it looks like, so these dice, they have different pip values, and you're just going to be moving around the board here. It's like a little rondelle. So each section has different things that you're going to get. 3 of them are just gathering resources. So here you're gathering coins, here you're gathering wood, here you're gathering stone. 2 of those spaces, you are paying those resources. So here you're paying stone and wood to build onto this pyramid in the center. Here you're paying wood to travel on the Avenue of the Dead, which is right here, which is just victory points. Gold is spent over here for technologies. These technologies just give you boosts if you do certain actions. So for example, this one here will give you an extra resource when you go to those resource spots. This one gives you 3 victory points when you go to the Avenue of the Dead or to this technology board. Some of those stuff. And so anytime that you're moving these dice, they start leveling up. And as they level up, your actions get stronger and stronger. So if you have a value 1 dice here, you will get the lowest one here. If you have 2 value 1 dice, you will get this one. This is if your lowest value is a 2 or a 3, you get this middle one. This one's if it's a 4 or a 5. Every time that you go to these actions, you have to pay cacao to perform those actions, and at the end of every eclipse you have to feed your workers with this cacao. So it's just this really tight resource management game of spending cacao to do the actions and then needing cacao to feed your workers. And man, there's just a lot going on with it, and it's a game that I've very much enjoy. I forgot how much I enjoyed it, and it's one that I think Devin and I need to play a lot more in person because he's got all of the modules, and I want to start adding those modules in. George, have I played After Us? Yes, I played After Us. I thought the game was fine. I didn't think it was anything special. What was interesting about it was that was a game that I learned to teach at BGG Spring. Anytime Devin and Joe and I go to one of these conventions, we all learn games beforehand so that we can teach everyone. And I picked this game because I knew it was an engine builder, and Devin loves engine builders, and I knew it was simultaneous play, and Joe loves simultaneous play. So I thought it was going to be a hit for all of us. Ended up kind of, I don't want to say it fell completely flat, but it wasn't one that we very much enjoyed. Kind of like Guild of Merchant Explorers. I'll play it if somebody has it, but I'm probably never going to gravitate towards that game. But I think it's okay. So that is Teotihuacan. Just sniped a 2-point win on the final turn. There you go. That feels good. That always feels good. If you want to start one up, feel free to. I'd be okay playing one of those. It's been, I'm going to say, at least 2 years since I played it, maybe a year and a half. So maybe it's a little bit better than what I remember. Okay, I played a game of Distilled. I honestly don't remember playing a game of Distilled, and I wish I remember playing it because I really do like this game. So in Distilled, you are distillers, and you're going to be trying to make different types of liquor. So you've got all of these liquor types down here, and they change based on the recipe cards that you have. Teo is my favorite tea game. Michael, it is very good. I really like Teo. Really like Zolkin. Zolkin is another one that's really good. That's another one that I need to play a little bit more frequently in order to get it, but it's definitely between those two that I really enjoy. I actually, now that I say that, I've also played Trismegistus once. I want to play that one again. I enjoyed it, but it was a lot. That was when I was just starting to get into heavier games. I thought it was good, but I definitely want to play it again. Haven't played Tabanusi, Tawatinsuyu. Oh, I played Takenu. It was okay. It wasn't my favorite. We actually played it with my wife and Devin's wife, I think, and it was probably a little bit too heavy for my wife. So I want to try that one again just to get the real feel of the game. So anyway, going back here to distilled. So you are going to be making these different types of liquors. This game, if you want to talk about game with theme integration and mechanics, this and Viticulture are the two best for theme integration. This game you play through, I forget how many round or how many phases it is, but basically what you're doing is the first thing is you're going through your phase, right? So through the first phase, you are buying ingredients. Every single liquor that you distill has to have at least yeast or water. So you need at least one yeast and one water card. From then on, you can get all different types of stuff. So you can get mixed grains, plants, mixed fruit. You can get barrels in order to age them. You can get upgrades to your distillery, which will do things like give you an extra fruit or add extra flavors into your... what I just call it, I forget, into your spirits that you are in your warehouse that you're aging. You can get different types of bottles that give you more money if you sell specific liquors in them, right? So like this pirate bottle, if you are selling some liquor from the Americas, for example, rum, if rum is on here, which it's not, it will give you an extra $1 towards whatever. So the first phase is buying all of these things. You have these premium ingredients, which are basically the same as these. They're just a little bit more high end. You always start off with a basic metal barrel and then a basic glass bottle. So you can always use those if needed. You'll unlock recipes here, and these recipes allow you to distill these liquors. So for example, for the aquavit, you need a water, a yeast, and then any grains or fruits. You can have a mixture of grain and fruit, or just have grain or fruit. Some of them do not allow you to have mixtures. So like this sochu only allows you to have wheat or grain, and you have to have a clay barrel. So the first phase, you are buying the stuff. Second phase, you are actually going to start distilling them. So you choose the ingredients that you want to throw into your liquor. You mix them up. You throw in any yeast or water cards. For the number of ingredients that you put in, you add that much alcohol as well. So if you put in 3 yeast cards, or I'm sorry, 3 grain cards, you will also add in 3 alcohol cards. And so then you'll shuffle your deck, and then you remove the top card, which is removing the head from the liquor, and then you remove the bottom card, which is removing just the silt or whatever it's called at the bottom, and those get discarded from your hand. Now, unfortunately, if it was an ingredient that you needed, you might not be able to make the liquor that you wanted to, but you can always make moonshine and vodka. So again, there's a little push your luck kind of mechanic in there. But in reality, it feels bad, but you're always going to get something out of it. And then hopefully in the future, you can just kind of improve it a little bit from there. Then you can go into selling your liquors or starting to age your liquors. The longer they age, the more flavors they get in there, the more you can sell them for at the end of the game. So, and then you just kind of start over. But this is just a really fun one. Like I said, I kind of wish I remembered when I played it, where I played it, but I do want to play this one again this month. So that is Distilled. Excited for the new version of Trismegistus. Yeah, that one looks really interesting. I'm hoping they're not changing it too much. I do hope that they change up the rulebook a little bit, because that rulebook was a little hard to follow from what I remember. But either way, it was a good game. Feast for Odin. I've been playing this one quite a bit lately, every month, I should say. Just recently, the Norwegians expansion was released, so that was kind of what piqued my interest on it this time. It also has some mini expansions. It has all the islands, so it's got those expansions that I feel like makes the game a little bit better. Just to kind of go through this quickly, because I know I've talked about this game quite a bit. Feast for Odin is just a worker placement game where you're going to be doing some type of action, either pillaging, crafting, getting some type of animals, hunting, whaling, getting boats, all this kind of stuff. You're going to be using these polyomino pieces to cover up these negative victory points because it's a UE game and you have to start with negative victory points. You can get these different islands that help you get different income or bonuses in between rounds. And then at the very end of your round, you do have to feed your workers. And if you don't feed your workers, you end up getting thing penalties, which is just more negative victory points at the end of the game. So, I think, I'm not 100% sure, I don't remember. Well, this person here, Star XC, which is their board right here, they're at negative 96, and it looks like they've covered up 2 points here, so that's 98. So somewhere around there. I think you start with like negative 80-ish points or something like that, and then you just have to climb yourself out of the hole. Devin just live streamed this one solo last week, I think. So if you're interested in it, if you want to go look at a playthrough of it, he definitely did that one. So, Ian, I really want to play Distilled on the tabletop so I can figure out how to play it. Honestly, I think Board Game Arena is a great implementation of it because it allows you to, it doesn't let you do anything wrong. So, maybe you could try it out on the hot seat. I think they have the solo one on there too. Hot seat you do double-handed. But either way, it's a good game. Space Base. This was our Discord members monthly game night that we played for January. And Space Base was a lot of fun. Michael Newsom ended up destroying us. We said it in our live stream last week that Michael has played every game imaginable except for this one, and he still destroyed us in it. So this one, what you're doing is you're just rolling dice. You are then using those dice to trigger actions on your board. So if you roll a 4, you can either do a 1 and a 3, 2 2s. I don't know if you can do 2 2s, or a 4. And then, anybody else that has a top action, so this red action on top of a 4, they will get that bonus as well. So then if this person rolls a 9, they'll get to activate their card, but then this person will get to do these top 2 red actions on top. The game plays relatively quick. Once everybody kind of knows the game. What's really cool here on Board Game Arena is you can't see it here because I'm not playing, but there are settings that allow you to just click on it and it says take the best bonus. If nothing can be done, do whatever. If there's only one action, take that action. So it kind of speeds up a little bit of that downtime that you might have. The game plays to the first person to 40 points. So these rocket ships are the points. When your turn ends, you can buy these cards here on these rows. And whatever money you have, you either spend it all or you lose it. So you can't hold on to any money in between rounds. So eventually you want to start boosting up your income, which will then allow you to start off at a higher money every round, which will then allow you to buy new cards, which will then allow you to get more victory points. So it's just a fun, like I said, it's a little semi-engine builder, tableau builder that you are just building stuff out and first person to 40 points. Space Base plays really well, turn-based as well. I can definitely see that. I could see it being very annoying not having those auto settings on for Space Base and just waiting for somebody to click no, or whatever it may be. Okay, this next one is Survive the Island. Survive the Island. I played this one with Ken. You can actually keep money between rounds if you don't spend it. Oh, interesting. I didn't know about that. Good to know. So I got to play this one with Ken. This is Survive the Island. So actually, let me see if I can start one that's near the beginning. Maybe here. So in this game, you have, I think it's 10 meeples. I don't remember exactly how many, but you have a certain amount of meeples, and each meeple is worth is valued differently. So you have some that are worth 1, I think all the way up to 5, might be 4, I don't remember. I learned what the economy was during our live play Monday. I missed that when I learned it earlier with Jamie. Yeah, so each of these meeple is worth a different value, right? So at the beginning of the game, you're placing them out here on the island in hopes of getting your meeples off of the island onto these ramps here before they get eaten or killed by these monsters. So again, this was another one that I just barely brushed through the rule book. So the whole, basically, I don't know, first quarter of the game is you just playing people out on this board. And what I didn't realize was that is kind of a memory aspect to this game. So you have to remember if you're putting your number 2 here, or if you're putting your number 4 here. There you go. It says 20 adventurers. Because at the end of the game, whoever you rescue, the victory points you get from them is what their value was. So if I forgot that all of my 4 ones were here, and I just kind of let them, get eaten, and I only saved my 1s, if I save 10 1s, that's only worth 10 victory points. But if I save, 3 4s, that's 12 victory points. So you really kind of want to pay attention to what the value of those meeples are. The game really not for me, in all honesty. On your turn, you do, I don't even remember. I think you can move twice. You'll also have some boats out here. The boats can have up to 3 meeples in them, but I believe you can move twice. So like once on land, once on water, or twice on water. You can get some special cards that allow you more movement. Hey Dennis, no worries. I'm about a little bit more than halfway with the list, so we'll still be here for some time. But yeah, they give you some cards that allow you like extra movement or something like that. And then at the end of your turn, you roll this dice here, the kaiju dice, and it says what's going to attack you. What I didn't really enjoy about the game was I don't like games that take away my stuff. So, I've been working hard to get this meeple to like here, and then just on a die roll, this one moves in and just kills me. Or if I'm here on this island and this piece of land, comes off, and then all of a sudden there's a shark or whatever in there, it eats me. That's it. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of just the random bad stuff happening to you. And then of course, if you're playing 2-player, you're hoping that stuff happens to the other players. So it's just a very kind of, that negative interaction that I'm just not a huge fan of. I can see this being a great game for people that enjoy those kind of games. I just don't think it's really a game for me. But yeah, that is Survive the Island. Up next, played a game of Azul. And I am just noticing they have Azul Summer Pavilion on here now. So I've played that one once. I would like to play it again. Azul. I won't go too much into it because hopefully you know how to play Azul. And I've talked about it before. But in this game, you have all of these tiles. Ian has been on there for some time now. I've just haven't been paying attention to that. So on your turn, you have these factories is what they're called. And you're going to be drafting 1 color from that factory. So like here you can get these yellow ones, here you can get the red ones, here you can get the blue or the yellow ones. So whatever you take, you're actually going to take down to your board, and you're going to put them on these lines. At the end of the round, you're going to move over one of them, of your completed rows, you're going to move it over and fill in that little space right there. So once you start moving these, they start going into the middle. Then you can start drafting stuff from the middle. The first person in the middle that they draft, they will get the first player token. And then that is one negative victory point at the end of the round, but you'll be first player, so you'll get to draft from there. I like Azul. I think it's a great game. Definitely a modern classic. Depending on your player count, depending on your player count and who you're playing with, it can be a very tactical game, and it could be one that you have a lot of hate drafting in. I generally don't play that way. It depends who I'm playing with. But either way, I think this is a fun game. Let's see, the scoring is about to happen, so we can see how that works here. So this person, they're going to put it in one of these bottom two rows. They're not going to complete that row, so it's not going to be placed. So that one's completed, that one's completed, that one's completed. That one will stay next round. And then you score based on like adjacency. You score more if it's like on top or next to, or lines or rows, anything like that. So that is Azul. Don't hate draft either. My friends from Wednesday don't either. It's nice. Yeah, it can be a relaxing game or a very heads up game. Really depends. It depends who I'm playing with. If I'm playing with Devin, it's not hate drafting. It's just this is the better move and this is what I'm taking. If I'm playing with my wife, I'm really just looking at mine and really just trying to do what's best for me. This is Carcassonne. Carcassonne is just a tile laying game where you are matching up roads, cities, farms, all sorts of stuff, and just trying to score the most victory points. I think I played a 3-player game of it, and I think that might have been the first 3-player game of it that I've ever played. And I'll go ahead and say it. I think I enjoy this game at 2. You get more choice. And it doesn't feel as bad when other people place stuff around your stuff because it limits your actions. So I guess that kind of goes back to me wanting to have my decisions made and stuff limited because of me and not because of other people. Steve, I have not played Mist Over Carcassonne. Is that the co-op one? I think that's the co-op one. And is it here on Board Game Arena? There are many different ones. Yes, it is co-op. Oh, let's see. Carcassonne. Nope, they just have Hunters and Gatherers on here. Mist Over. Nope, they don't have that one here on Board Game Arena. I would probably play it with my wife. Just to see what it's about and just to have that kind of nice, easy game. I don't think it would be anything too extensive to play. But yeah, Carcassonne is great. Like I said, I think I do enjoy it better at 2 players though. Fromage. So I'm currently in a game of Fromage with Ian. Funny story, I actually did not mean to invite everybody again to the game. I was actually just trying to look at the scores, but I accidentally clicked rematch instead of final situation. And I wasn't able to cancel it in time, so I'm playing my second game of Fromage right now for the month. Our group definitely hate drafts. Yeah, I mean, it depends who you're playing with. Like, that is the game. And if there's a better one, then it's a better one. And if you're going to stick somebody with 5 tiles, then that's kind of what you got to do. All right, so Fromage. I played it a few months ago for the first time here on Board Game Arena. And my initial impressions on Board Game Arena was that I didn't really enjoy it on Board Game Arena. I also did not play it at 4 players, and I thought that 4 players was definitely the better playing count. So now I've played it again this month, and I'm currently playing it right now at the 4-player count. I do think that this game shines at 4 players, and I also think that this game is way better on the tabletop. Possibly it could also just be way better real time and not async. That might be more of what it is. But in the game, you have 4 different sections, and each of these sections are just basically mini games. So like in this one here, you're trying to get sets of different plate colors, all that kind of stuff. Here you're trying to make routes basically between your cheeses. Here you are it's some type of set thing as well. And then here it's like an area control. You can also gather resources for like buildings, animals, fruits, and contracts. And, if you have enough buildings, you can get these one-off kind of benefits or end game scoring or an extra space to go. You can get these animals that will help you fulfill some kind of orders or specific cheeses, and then you have some fruits at the end that you can multiply together in order to get more victory points at the end of the game. So I really enjoyed this one on the table. It made Devin and I's best games of 2024, but I do think that the game needs to be played real time and at 4 players. That's kind of where I stand with Fromage. First time I played on BGA, I didn't know what I was doing. Now that I've played on tabletop, it makes more sense. Yeah, definitely see that for sure. But yeah, I mean, I just think that this is a game that benefits from physical play. Okay, up next we have Harmonies. Again, another game that I don't really remember playing. Generally play a lot more than what I did this month. I only got 1 played. But Harmonies is a great one. This is one we could stream live right in real time. Nothing is hidden. I don't think Fromage there's anything hidden. I don't think so. That could be one. All right, so here on Harmonies, a lot of people comparing this one to like Cascadia, Azul, that kind of stuff. But what you're doing is you are drafting cards from up here, from this card river. Not really a card river, just from this row up here. And these are the patterns that you're trying to complete. So like, for example, here you want 3, I think they're mountain tiles on top of each other, and then 1 river tile. This person here, they need 2 yellows and then a tree that is 2 browns tall and one green tall. So on your turn, you can draft one of these cards, and then you take some tokens here from the wheel, and then you just have to place them on your board. As soon as you complete that pattern, you place one of these little cubes on it to signify that you used it, and then you can't use the one that has the cube on it in another pattern. You can use it in another pattern, you just can't put another cube on it. So if I wanted to do this pattern again, you would have to build this tree on the opposite side. You wouldn't just be able to put another yellow over here and get another one. So this game, end game is triggered, I think, a couple of ways. The only way that I can think of it right now is just if your board gets filled. And then if your board gets filled, or if you can't place anything else, that triggers the end of the game. So this is a great family weight game. I think it plays really good here on Board Game Arena just because of the stacking and all that. I know I mentioned last time that I'm not sure how good it would be in person because I could see it being fiddly, but a lot of people said that the components are great and all of that kind of stuff is really good. And it's a really big game. And components are heavy enough that they're not just going to kind of, get knocked over by a little shaking or anything like that. So this is one that I definitely want to play in person at some point. But for now, it's a great implementation here on Board Game Arena. So really enjoy harmonies. Played some Seven Wonders Duel. Pretty sure I got beat by Steve again. And I think we actually went to the end game this time. We actually made it to victory points. I don't remember. But yeah, Seven Wonders Duel, just a great duel game. Really awesome tug of war where you are trying to keep your little conflict pawn on your side, because if it makes it, or on the opposite side, because if it makes it all the way to your side, you lose. You're trying to balance getting these symbols, because as soon as somebody gets all 6 symbols, they win. And then, just trying to gather victory points with these blue cards, because... What is that? Just trying to get these victory points at the end of the game, because if the game doesn't end through war or through science, it's going to go to knowledge, which is those victory points. So it's just this great tactical game of trying to figure out, okay, I know that this person is going to get this war card, so let me take it to discard it for, whatever. But if I discard this card, they're going to get this science card, which will then give them 2 scientific symbols of this, which will then let them get another token, which is just some more bonuses. So there's a lot of that decision space of what should I do on my turn here. Also, at the end of every round, I forget who it is exactly, but the person gets to decide if they want to go first or if the other player wants to go first. So you kind of study the board and say, okay, well, if I do this and that, and then, just kind of going back and forth. So there's a lot of strategy in this game. It's a game that I absolutely love, and we'll play it at any time. All right, and then finally, the last game that I have on here is King of Tokyo Duel. This was a game that I started randomly. I was talking to Ken over there on the Discord channel. Felt a little bit bad that I wasn't a huge fan of Survive the Island, and I knew he was a big fan of King of Tokyo. King of Tokyo is fine for me. It's not like the best game, but it's over quick enough that I think it does the job. And so I saw they had this dual version. And again, with a lot of stuff that I do on Board Game Arena, didn't really read the rules too deep, because it's King of Tokyo, right? Like you should kind of know what to do. So it turns out it's pretty easy. It's the same basic mechanics. You have your 6 dice at the top that you're rolling Yahtzee style, right? You get to keep some in between. I think you get 3 rolls of them. But you have these symbols, you have these stars, and then you have this symbol, which I actually don't know what it is, but you have this symbol, and then you have this exclamation mark. And then, of course, you still have your claws, you still have your hearts, and you still have your lightning. All of those work the same as they did in the base game. So you'll use your energy to buy new cards. You'll use your attacks to attack the other person, and their health is a little bit different, because these monsters actually have asynchronous abilities, unlike in the other ones. So they all start off with different health, and then that exclamation mark symbol actually gives them their special ability. So the alienoid, if you roll 2 exclamations, you add any symbol to your roll. If you add 1, or if it's +1, you add this symbol again. And then for this one, the Space Penguin, it looks like if you roll an exclamation mark, you get another die. Maybe you get to re-roll your die. You get these tokens, whatever these tokens are. And then there are these different tracks here that when you roll stars, they will move on... I forget which direction, but they'll move a specific direction. And then whoever makes it to the end of the track, whoever gets to the end of the track loses. So again, there's this tug of rope kind of mechanic that's going on here. So, if I'm rolling stars and the person is moving here, then they're going to want to start rolling stars to kind of move back. Or this symbol, which, I don't know, to me looks like a phone booth or something, or a microphone talking something. So same kind of thing. They're just moving that way or moving this way. So that's just another win mechanic in the game. I want to say we played it probably in about 15-20 minutes, and it was good. It was the perfect amount of time. It's definitely one that I'll play again. I really did. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good 2-player implementation of the game. So that is the last game that I played on Board Game Arena this month. A lot of good stuff on there. It looks like they just awarded the BGA awards. I was a little bit upset at how they made these awards, because you had to, and I understand it now, now that I'm saying it out loud, of course, but you have to play every single one of the games in order to be able to vote for it. So I've played these 3 games. I hadn't played Flowers, so I couldn't vote for it. Now I would have voted for Castle Combo, so I'm glad that won. This one, I haven't played Middle Ages or Loot. I probably would have voted for Cartographers, but Harmonies won. This one was the one that was a little bit upsetting I couldn't vote for. Definitely would have gone for Terraforming Mars. Haven't played any of those. New York Zoo here is what I thought would have won that one, or should have won that one. So, it was kind of cool that they did this. I just wish that it was play 3 of the 4 or something. I don't know. But unfortunately I couldn't vote on any of those. Literally did a solo game of Flowers just so I could vote. I had no idea what I was doing. I'd never played Wolves. I want to learn it. From what I understand, Wolves is another just area control kind of game. It looked pretty sweet. I didn't hear much about it after it kind of came out. I feel like it kind of died down. And I believe the solo and 2-player of the game, you need to add an extra bot in there, or 2 if you're playing solo, because again, it's an area control game. So I never really looked into it much further than that. Yeah, a couple good games here. Like I said, I've been playing a couple of alpha games. White Castle is currently in alpha. That one has been really good. Haven't seen anything, no bugs or anything on it yet, so I'm hoping it goes to beta relatively soon. And then, never know, maybe they'll add in that expansion. Dead Cells looks really sweet. I was talking to Blunder over on our Discord server, Blunderbutt. He said that he really likes this one, but I think he was saying it's a campaign that kind of runs a little bit long, so I wonder how they did this this digital implementation here. I've seen many playthroughs of Wolves, would love to play it. It's my turn, by the way. Yes, I've seen the notifications here, Jeff. I will. I'll get to it as soon as I can. But yeah, so I don't know. Dead Cells looks kind of cool. I guess it was a video game, so don't know much about it. But Five Tribes. This is one that I definitely want to try. Five Tribes is a Mancala style game. Devin has this game, and we've played it a couple times. It's been a very long time since we played it. But Five Tribes is Mancala style game, and each color is has some type of different ability. So I know the red ones are assassins, but what you do is you pick them up and then you drop them off as you're going. And then you get these cards that give you different abilities. So take control of an empty tile, the kind of basic stuff that you'd get from the cards. So like I said, it's been years since I've played this game. But I remember it being very intuitive if you know the Mancala style. And overall a decent game. And on the tabletop, though, it does get a little bit confusing just because, again, it's Mancala. So I'm really interested here in this Board Game Arena implementation. Ian, I'm going to say the White Castle is probably a little bit out of your comfort range, at least for gaming there. It is a very, very tight resource management kind of game. You really need to think about you can do a whole lot of nothing in that game if you're not paying attention to what you're doing, which actually in one of my games right now, I feel like I'm doing that. There's not a lot of good combos on there because the game is only 9 turns. So you have to do all that you can. I say it's only 9 turns. You only have 9 turns that you're taking, but you might do 2 or 3 actions throughout your turn if you plan everything accordingly. So if you want to try it, I'll be more than happy to try it out with you at some point. So that is it. That's all that I have there for Board Game Arena. Like I said, it was 19 games overall. Pretty good games. Not very many that I didn't enjoy, or not very many that I wouldn't play again. But again, here's our Discord server. If you want to come over, learn some games, play some games, we are going to be doing our monthly board game night. I'm going to put a poll up in that in the server here either tonight or tomorrow morning, and just to kind of see what day would be best to do that, either a Monday or possibly a Tuesday for it. So that is that there. And then our weekly schedule, we've kind of changed it up a little bit just because it's hard to schedule out an entire month. So here's our weekly schedule. Tomorrow we are doing our top tableau builders. I will say Terraforming Mars is not on mine. I think it could be, but it's not a dedicated tableau builder. I know on Board Game Arena or Board Game Geek it says tableau builder on there, but I don't think that is. I think it's more of just like a drafting card engine building game. So if it was on there, if I did put it on there, it would definitely been number 1, but it's not my number 1. Devin is going to stream Zap Attack on Wednesday. I think it's going to be Zap Attack. He might have to change it just because some work stuff. And then on Friday, we will be doing our month in review. Dennis, I did get to play Navoria. I played it on Saturday with my wife. It was good. I enjoyed it. For me, the wait was fine. I probably should have taught my wife the base game first without any asynchronous abilities or any extra scoring conditions in there. But I think once you know the base game, this expansion really doesn't add any much more difficulty to it. Super cute game. Good card drafting, and then just building it out and letting it kind of go over 3 rounds, getting the most that you can. It was pretty close. I think we were within like a 10-point difference or something like that. So at some point this month, I will probably be streaming that live because Devin and I are going to be barely together on Fridays. We've both got very busy months. So either way, come join us on our Discord. Like I said, I'm going to post a poll up there, post some games, post a date, all that kind of stuff. And that's all that I have. I appreciate everybody being here. Jeff, I will get to our game here in a second. And then, as always, let's see. Jeff, let me know which ones you want to try. Definitely tune in for solo Navoria stream for sure. The solo seems very simple to run as well. So yeah, excited for it. That's all that I have. So until next time, please remember, like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff really does help. Y'all have a good night.